Hello Daily Drafters and welcome back to the channel for today's daily draft. That's right, it is a new season here on the channel, Murders at Karlov Manor season, and with that comes a couple of exciting, at least I hope are exciting, changes to the channel. I will be posting draft videos, not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 days out of the week. Murders at Karlov Manor premiere draft videos Monday through Friday for your viewing pleasure. Saturday, we'll continue the AI Historic Brawl deck build video series, and Sunday is going to be a wildcard video. Could be a throwback draft, could be some cube, could be some fun stuff going on. Great time to be here and excited to be joining on the channel. If any or all of that interests you and you find yourself interested in this first Karlov Manor premiere draft here today, drop a subscription down below. I also have a Patreon with the link in the description. It's going to be a fun time here on the channel. And with these changes come a little bit more of a surprise for you. I'm going to be editing my drafts as well to make them just a little bit shorter for you all to enjoy for your viewing pleasure as well. Edit out dead space in the drafts when we're waiting for packs. Edit out dead space in the games where the opponent's timing out or something like that. Going to make it a little bit more palatable, so more drafts in fewer amount of time. It's the best of both worlds. Speaking of drafts, Murders at Karlov Manor premiere draft, we are going to hop in to our first premiere draft here. Gonna have a good time, talk about some of the changes in the format, the play boosters. It's gonna be a great time here. I'll see you in pack one, pick one. All right, here we are, and as you can see, we've already got a change. Double convenient target in the booster pack. Yes, you can receive at least one duplicate card in each of these booster packs. There are some bangers in this pack here. Krenko's Buzz Crusher, 4 mana, 4/4, Flying Trample. And that's pretty much the extent of what this card is for limited. There's also a Coerced to Kill, 5 mana Enchant Creature. You control Enchanted Creature, and it is a 1/1, has Death Touch, and is an Assassin in addition to its other types. There's also one of the best commons in the set in Makeshift Binding. It's an Oblivion Ring that gains you 2 life. This is a really difficult pick here between Buzz Crusher, Binding, and Coerce to Kill. Honestly, I think Coerce to Kill is the best card here, but it is gold. I don't think I'm going to take it this soon. I think I'm just going to start with the rare. Early on in these sets, I draft enough here on the channel that I want to give you an experience of playing and seeing some of these rares. Speaking of, we got a card from the list here. High Alert, 3 mana. Makes creatures fight with their butts. But there is a Shock in the pack, and shocking, I will be taking Shock. 1 mana, deal 2 to any target. Trades with morph creatures, I guess disguise creatures, for even mana, as they have Ward 2. Follows up Krenko's Buzz Crusher quite well. Yet another duplicate in Reasonable Doubt here. Extracted Confession is fine. Long Goodbye is more than fine. It's a great card. Caught Red-Handed, I don't think is great. Also is an instant for some strange reason. High Alert could be fun for week 5 in the format, but we're just going to go ahead and take what I think are the best cards in these packs and play with some of the rares and mythics as we do that as well. So let's take the Shock here. Ooh, I see myself a Gadget Technician. 4 mana, 3/2. When it enters the battlefield or is turn face up, you get a 1/1 Thopter with Flying. That is also an artifact. I think that's pretty high on the list here. The Chase is On is a bit of a clunky combat trick. Demand Answers, a variation on Thrill of Possibility, cards like that. But there's also a Perimeter Enforcer here. I just noticed that. So Gadget Technician kind of goes into blue-red, which I think is a I don't know what's a good deck or what isn't, but Perimeter Enforcer is great. 2 mana, 1/1 Flying, Lifelink. Whenever a detective enters, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. This is tough. There is no blue card in this pack. I think I'm actually going to take the Perimeter Enforcer there. That's pretty difficult. But I really do like this card. One of the best uncommons in the set, in my opinion. Offender at Large, 5 mana, 5/4, Disguise, very clunky. We do have Convenient Target, though. 1 mana Enchant Creature, it gets +1/+1, and is suspected. And you can bring it back to your hand from the graveyard, too. There's also a Due Diligence. There's Bite Down on Crime. There's Extracted Confession. 4 mana, 3/3, Death Touch. Indestructible. A little bit clunky for that one. I think I'll take the convenient target here and continue down the red path. More duplicates in Vengeful Creeper here. Which one is this one? 5 mana, deal 4 to a creature at sorcery speed. But if you sacked an artifact, it is 2 mana. What about Fuss and Bother? Well, if we're red-white, we could play both sides of Fuss and Bother here. 3 mana, 1/1 counter on each attacking creature you control, or 6 mana, create 3 1/1 Flying Thopters and Surveil 2. Not too bad. Due Diligence. I don't think I'm going to take either of these two cards. Reasonable Doubt could be interesting, but I think Perimeter... Oh my gosh. Pick 6 Makeshift Binding. Wow. All right. Well, oh, and there's a Person of Interest. I love both of these cards, but I think Makeshift Binding is better. Person of Interest, 4 mana 2/2 when an ETB's suspected, and you make another 2/2. Quite good. Yeah, we are in the right colors with a pick 6 Binding and Person of Interest. So let's go ahead and take the Binding here. I think Felonious Rage is actually quite good. It's 1 mana, your creature trades up and leaves behind a 2/2. I also kind of do like Museum Nightwatch. It's a 4 mana 3/2 dies into a 2/2 and it disguises for just 2 mana. What about this one? 4 mana 3/2 flyer. Not as good as these two cards. I think I'm going to err on the side of taking the creature here. If we're going to be red-white, usually red-white wants to be a little bit more aggressive. And you do need some aggressive creatures in that. Frantic Scapegoat is a card I really do not know how to evaluate. 1 mana 1/1 haste, ETBs suspect it, and then it can pass off that suspicion to another creature later. I don't think I'm a big fan of Red Herring. I'd be willing to try it here on day 1, but I think the Scapegoat has the highest upside. And look at that, both convenient targets came back. But so did Felonious Rage. If I didn't have a convenient target, I would take one here. I just don't think they're very good in multiples. It's pretty mana intensive to get it back, and you don't really want to be doing that with more than one, so I'll take the Rage. Both Reasonable Doubts came back, as well as Extracted Confession. I don't think I'll play any of those. 2 mana 2/1 ETB Surveil 1, or 2 mana, we have a Case. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for a basic. I think I'll just take the 2 mana 2/1, and don't think I'm playing any of this stuff here. Another Reasonable Doubt, interesting. Ooh, we got some good options here. What do we have? Connecting the Dots. Whenever a creature you control attacks, exile the top card of your library face down. You can pay 2 to discard your hand and sack this to put all those cards into your hand. Inside Source, 3 mana 1/1 comes with a 2/2. And you can also pay some mana to buff some detectives you control. Case of the Gateway Express, I think, is incredible. 2 mana removal spell. And then if you attack with enough creatures, it gives you a kind of half of an anthem. There's also Gearbane Orangutan that in some decks could be like a 3 mana 4/4 reach, which is great. I think I'm going to take the Gateway Express over Connecting the Dots here. That's close. Maybe because it's day 1 of the format, I should have taken the Connecting the Dots just to see if it's any good or not, but I know that Case of the Gateway, the Express is good, and when you know something's good, that's always a good spot to be in. Murder is back. Unfortunately, not for us here. We do have a Krovod Haunch, though, and that is the absolute cutest token I think I've ever seen. So congratulations, dog. 1 mana, +2/+0. It is a food. You could also pay 2 when it goes to the graveyard for 2 1/1s. I don't know if this card is very good, but I think I'm willing to try it out here. Gosh, another Coerce to Kill. Hazda Vigilante, Innocent Bystander, Suspicious Detonation. They're all kind of meh. The Krovod Haunch could be pretty good, though. So I think I'll take it here. And we are rewarded with a Lightning Helix, my friends. What a card. 2 mana. Instant speed, deal 3, gain 3. To any target. Yes, please. What else is here? 5 mana, 5/5. Knife. Gosh, this format looks like so much fun. Any new format is fun. I mean, have you ever had a first draft of a new format and it not be fun? Alright, what else do we got? Offender at large. Meh. Call a surprise witness. Return target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield with a flying counter. What do we have that works well with that? Honestly, not much. But I do think it's better than Offender at large and Due Diligence. I think it has a higher upside here. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Call a Surprise Witness. And hello, Dog Walker. Oh my gosh. When you do as much research as I do going into your first draft of a set, and you know that cards like Course to Kill are going to be very good, same with Inside Source, it's so painful to see these cards coming by so late, but I'm going to take the Dog Walker. I would love an Inside Source as well, but Dog Walker is kind of exactly what we want to be doing. Ooh. Wow. What a game, Magic the Gathering. It's gotta be Shock over Meddling Youths, another Rage, a Long Goodbye, a Museum Night Watch. I love these cards. I think Shock is just better. The chase is on. I just think this is a little too clunky. Our creature count, oh my gosh, our creature count is at 5. Yikes. I guess I need to potentially take some creatures. I could probably play an orangutan here. Defenestrated Phantom, I mean, I guess I could play that as a disguise creature as well. I think the orangutan has higher upside. Yeah, I gotta make sure my curve ends up being where I want it to be here. So I'll take another orangutan. I guess this is a 2-mana 2/1. We don't really have a lot of 2-drops here, so I could take that. 5 mana 5/5. Whenever it attacks, if it's not suspected, you may suspect it, or just a 2 mana 2/1. I think I'll take the 5/5 here. Yeah, nothing here. Not playing a Magnifying Glass and Fanatical Strength. Looking to get a couple of good 2-drops if I can here. That would be nice. There's another orangutan, Cornered Crook. 5 mana 5/4. Whenever it ETBs, you may sack an artifact. If you do, it deals 3 damage to any target. I don't know how many artifacts we're going to have. We're not investigating a lot. I could sacrifice the Crowvad Haunch. That's a pretty good combo. You just need to have 7 mana if you want to also pay the 2 mana. I don't need another tracker. I don't think this is a Snuffler deck. So I guess I'll take the Cornered Crook here. Lots of cards in our colors here. What is this one? Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain a life. To solve it, you've basically never solved it, and then you can cast something from your graveyard. That seems pretty horrible to me. We're not really a case deck. This is not going to be the Case of the File Auditor draft. I don't think Wrench is particularly good, and I've been saying I want an Inside Source. So now is the time to take it. Case of the Burning Mask. 3 mana, sorcery speed, deal 3. And then if 3 things you control deal damage this turn, you can solve it to then impulse draw kind of 1 card here. I think it's better than a 3rd orangutan or Due Diligence. I don't think this is a Case of the Shattered Pack kind of deck. So I guess I'll take the masks here. Our creature count is getting a little bit higher. What's our curve look like? It's not too bad. I think I can afford to take a Person of Interest. 4 mana 2/2. With Menace that can't block because it is suspected on enter. And it makes a 2/2 when it enters. There's also a red herring, but Person of Interest is what I am interested in. don't think I'm going to take Caught Red-Handed. I just don't think we're sacrificing artifacts a lot. So these are basically going to be 3-mana 2/2s. I could take a Seasoned Consultant. 2-mana 1/3, whenever you attack with one or more creatures, it gets +2/+0. I don't really like it, but the good news is this blocks other disguise creatures pretty well. So at least it holds things off. A lot of stuff for us here. 1-mana 1/1 with Disguise. When it's turn face up, you have to return another permanent you control to your hand and put a counter on it. Or there's just Meddling Youths here. I think I'm going to take the Meddling Youths over the Forum Familiar. I'm not sure how good that card is necessarily. I don't think Mask Maker is particularly great. I'm going to have to see some opponents go off with that before I decide to play it. I guess I'll take an Orangutan and probably not play the third one here. Really nothing here, so I'll just take the Magnifying Glass. So Gadget Technician technically can be played in our deck because its disguise cost could be 2 red. I don't know if we're going to want to do that, but it's probably better than like a third Orangutan, I guess. Take the Detonation. I don't think I'm going to play that, but we'll see in deck building. Yeah, really nothing here. Guess I'll take this. And we're at 28. We'll have to make some cuts, but it'll be fine. Yeah, Mask Maker, but not for our main deck. And Investigators as well. So I'll go ahead and build this deck. And see you after I've done that with what will end up being the final product. Alright, here is where I ended up with the deck build. A little light on creatures, 13. Not exactly where I wanted to be. I cut the suspicious whatever thing. Convenient target. I just don't know if we're going to be super aggressive. Still playing 17 lands. I do think we do have a Gadget Technician. We have a Museum Night Watch. We have some disguise creatures. Always probably going to be using our mana when needed. So a little bit of red-white aggro to start out this format. Hope it does well. See you in game 1. Time for our first game of Karlov Manor Limited. And honestly, this hand isn't great. But we have plenty of 1s and 2s. We have the ability to draw. Inside Source catches us up as far as bodies on the ground, which makes Case of the Gateway Express what is likely to be a removal spell in the mid-game here. So we will keep it. And, yeah, so Gadget Technician in this deck is going to be a disguised creature that flips up for 2 red mana. Yeah, I will say that Plains is not at all what we need. Probably leading on Inside Source next turn. I mean, I guess I could play the Disguise. I mean, it's first game of the format for me, so I don't know what is correct or not correct. Think Inside Source makes the Case of the Gateway Express better for next turn, so I'm just going to play that. And then plan on trading here, I think. What is this one here? Tap an untapped creature to add 1 mana of any color. You can sack it to draw a card. Artifact Land Clue. Interesting types there. Crime Novelist, whenever you sack an artifact, put a 1/1 counter on it, and add red. Okay, so now I think the best thing to do is just play the Night Watch here. No attacks, and then next turn we can play a disguised Gadget Technician and Case of the Gateway Express for 4? Alright, Evidence Examiner. Beginning of combat on your turn, collect evidence 4. Whenever you do, you can investigate. Looks like they have done so. And they will sacrifice it. So we don't have... Well, I was about to say don't have great attacks, but now we don't really have any attacks. So what we're going to do here is get rid of their 2/4 by playing a disguised creature and then also the case. And now we do have attacks. The question is, do we want to? And I think we do. Meddling Youths can come down next turn and likely attack with 3 or more creatures, which would also solve our case here. That'll give us a nice little investigation bonus. They went this way. 3 mana, search your library for a basic land, battlefield tapped, shuffle, and investigate. Sure. That means Evidence Examiner will be able to collect evidence for, yet again. Going into the format, I really don't know how easy collect evidence will be. So far, they're making it look pretty easy. It's happened both turns. But in order to collect evidence for, they have to get rid of both of their cards now, because you have to do it equal to or greater than, and leftovers don't matter. So I do think I'm just going to play Meddling Youths here and then attack with everything except the 1/1. Investigate, solve the case at the beginning of our end step. I guess just chumping the youths. What do they have there? A Bolrac Clan Basher. That's a big boy. I think they also discarded one earlier. Yeah. That's why they did that. Yikes. I think there are a good amount of board sweepers in this set, which is not particularly exciting about the set. I think I can think of 3 off the top of my head. So there goes our entire board. That's exciting. Here comes a land. That's also exciting. Let's see what we got here. Okay. That's a card. Destroy up to 1 non-basic they control for each land destroyed this way. The controller may search the library for a basic. So is this worth destroying? Probably. Or would I rather destroy their mortuary? I think I'll go ahead and destroy the scene of the crime here. They do get a basic. They do get to crack it, I guess. Oh, no. It comes into tapped. So it's not too bad. They go to 7 here. And if they don't have an answer to this, that's going to be a pretty big problem for them. Alright, get in for 3. Their turn. They have all the cards in the world. 6 cards, 6 lands, 2 clues, and an enormous bomb. That is terribly unfortunate. What on earth do we do about that? Yeah, this is one of the better rares in the entire set. So sure. I mean, we can't just throw away a Buzz Crusher for 3 damage. That puts them to 4. I just don't think that's worth it. We have to hope we draw what? I have no idea, but I mean, so far in our 1 game of Karlov Manor Limited, we've had our entire board wiped and then play a 6/6 Flying Trample with upside. So this is going great. That's an interesting decision. Now it can't block. I don't know why they would do that. Because they don't have to. It says up to 1. Maybe they had plans of sacrificing it, but that also wouldn't make sense. Because now this just can't block. They're literally dead on board now, if they don't have removal for the Buzz Crusher. Yeah, I guess they just killed themselves? Does it have reach? What am I missing here? No, I guess they just made a little bit of a mistake. Early in the format, can happen to anyone. There you go, now you guys know from the very first game. Don't make your creatures unable to block if you are about to die. Okay, another really awkward hand here. This doesn't really do much right now. And Fuss and Bother also doesn't. I'm going to keep it because we have Innocent Bystander that can trade off, and then Call Surprise Witness can at least bring this back. But it's not great. Now it can't even trade off, unfortunately, because they played a very good card in Leering Onlooker here. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be that mana inefficient here, so I guess they're just going to hit us for 3-2 again. At least our clock isn't super fast at the moment. They might be mono black or color screwed. Let's see here. Alley Assailant, 3-mana 3/3 tapped. Okay. Oof, this is not a race we win. This can't block, and I'm not gonna block with that, so, I mean, I guess this is what we're doing. I don't like it, but, yeah, really, really awkward draw here. We have 2 shocks in the deck, which, honestly, in this spot wouldn't even be that great, but we're certainly not drawing particularly well. Lead Pipe, +2/+0. Choosing not to equip it, which is a little weird, but sure. I mean, I guess I'm equipping it here. Take another 5, go to 8, potentially take 7 if they choose to equip the lead pipe. Maybe they're just going to sacrifice that to try to hit their second color of land or something, but I mean, our draw is so pathetic that it's not really going to matter. Yeah, sure. I mean, I guess they wanted the option to kill one of our creatures there. No really guarantee that we're ever casting that. That was not particularly good in our hand. Alright, so now we're on Rubble Belt, Braggart, or Bust. So we can kill their Alley Assailant and bring back a 1/1 here? Or I can just play a 5/5. Block that, take 2. I don't know how we're going to deal with the Leering Onlooker, especially when it goes to the graveyard. They make 2 1/1 flyers as well, which is a problem. So I kind of just have to hope that this doesn't die. They are mana screwed, but murder exists in the format. Okay, now they're not. So I'm sure Rubberbolt Braggart will die now, and then at that point, I don't know what we're doing. There goes our hand. Got Mind Rotted. Burning Masks. And Surprise Witness in the yard. So this costs 4 mana to sacrifice and make dogs. I can't really afford to attack with the Innocent Bystander, and I can't play this and do Crovad Haunch, so I guess I could attack with the Braggart and make the dogs at instant speed here, block with this and a dog on the Alley Assailant and then a dog on the Unscrupulous Agent. So let's attack here. Do I want to suspect this? I don't think I do, because I'm probably at some point going to need this on blocks. So I'm actually going to decline that. I'm fine if they want to chump it. Because I need to make sure this could block if I wanted it to. I'm sure they're going to hit us for 3 in the air with the lead pipe at this point. Okay. Now they have a 3/3 flyer. Okay, just attacking with the Onlooker. That makes sense. I think I'm going to need my makeshift binding here to deal with that Onlooker. That's about all I can think of that will get me out of this here. Go ahead and pay, get the dogs. Dog Walker. How are we winning here? We're probably winning through Rubblebelt Braggart, and we have to outrace this Onlooker, so I think I might have to suspect it this turn. Yeah, that could be wrong, but it doesn't let them chump, so we're going to get a couple more dogs here. I could just play Perimeter Enforcer, but it's got lifelink as well. Yeah, that races the Onlooker pretty well. I think I'm actually just going to play the Enforcer here. Sanitation Automaton. ETB's Surveil 1. And then they Surveil 1 twice, I guess. They can equip their Leering Onlooker with the lead pipe. Does this have Vigilance? No. Yeah, so they'll move that over, and then do I chump with Perimeter Enforcer here just to preserve my life total? I think I do. That changes the clock to a 3-turned clock here, which is pretty big. So I'm actually just going to go up to 7. So if I attack with this prior to flipping it, it will not have Vigilance. And I would like it to have Vigilance even if it trades with the Gorehound here. Because I would like the option of blocking the alley assailant. Tough here. Obviously attacking with this, they might double block and then single block here. If I attack with this, they eat this, we do investigate. They trade here and then they take 5. And they go to 5. I'm going to attack with all 3. I think that puts them in a kind of a strange position. I think they have to double block the braggart here, otherwise, yeah, I think that's what they had to do, which means this was kind of a free attack. Now we do have to outrace a 3/3 flyer. But let's see what else they draw. The answer is outrageous robbery. Top X cards face down, look at and play. Oh, hello, Lightning Helix. Look at and play them if you cast a spell. So how many did they do? Did it for 3? So they've got 2 other ones they have access to here. Okay, so what if I just Lightning Helix down their onlooker and attacked for 6? Conversely, what if I attacked, they ate this, took 4, and then took 3 more down to 1? Are either of those better than the other? I think keeping all my creatures in... They do get 2 bats out of this, though. They kind of have to block the bystander, which will put them to 1, and I'll have 4 lethal threats here, and I also get to investigate. And if they don't block the bystander, they lose. So, yeah, I think that's okay. They go to 4. I get to investigate. See what I find off of the card. The answer is yet another land. Maybe 16 is where I should be here. And then I'm just going to hold up Lightning Helix because it is an instant. Alright, found yet another land. My gosh, they cleared off the top of our deck at the very least. Every time I think I should be playing 17, I just completely flood out and have nothing to do with my mana. Museum Nightwatch, sure. That's my card, I think, yeah. Okay, attacking with the onlooker, probably not going to go particularly well for you. But surprise Lightning Helix is always going to be good. Okay, so that technically would kill me. Wow. Lightning Helix for the win. So draw 3 and then drain 3. Oh my goodness. As an additional cost, yeah, draw 3, drain 3. Had I killed the Museum Nightwatch, they would... No, they'd be all the way up at 7. That might have just been a better thing to do, though. So if I attack all and just play a Seasoned Consultant, I'm dead on board to removal. If I attack with 3, they go to 2, and I still have 4 creatures. They could do this and get 2 more creatures. Man. What's our best chance of winning here? I think our best chance of winning is dodging a removal spell and putting them to 1. because we're going to have 3 creatures. They're going to have 3 creatures here. We just have to... We just have to dodge removal. Unfortunately. Alright, cross your fingers. They got 5 cards in hand, which probably means we're dead in many different ways here, but... That was a tough game. Really back and forth. They made us discard cards. We kept a really awkward hand. Drains us. They do this. They drain us down to 1. We chump block. Oh, double Wisp Drinker Vampire. That's kind of nice for you. Hey, they left us an out for winning, though, somehow. If we can get a little lucky here. Unfortunately, that is not how to do it. Because now these are both lethal. Man. Double Wisp Drinker Vampire. We attack all... They take 1 and go to 1. We play Buzz Crusher. They hit us for 2. Tough, tough. Really unfortunate draw set up on our side. They had about the best draw they could have. We had about the worst draw, and we still made it close. So, tough one there. Haven't seen a more horrible hand than this. So starting out with a mulligan here, and ending up with actually a pretty good hand. But now what do we put back? I guess a land, and then hope we draw... I guess I could have put the Braggart back, but as soon as I do that, I'm going to draw nothing but lands. And as soon as I put a land back, I'm going to draw nothing but non-lands. It's usually how it goes. So, hey, look. We didn't draw a land. So now, equipping Crovat Haunch next turn is a 3-1 flying lifelink, if this thing survives. And it does. Alright. So let's equip. And there we go. Alright, what does this one do again? Whenever another creature power 2 or less, target creature gets +1/+1. That's probably just shock-worthy. And I don't really want them to have any sort of combat tricks that saves it, so I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of that now. And we are on Perimeter Enforcer or Bust, unfortunately. Okay. Tunnel Tipster. Another 5-drop. So something nice about Felonious Rage and why I like this card so much is that if they have removal for Enforcer, we just rage it, and then it just turns the removal into our creature now dies into a 2/2. Which is just pretty good. They have proven to not have removal yet. Alright, there's a disguise creature. Still have 2 mana. Let's see what else they got here. 3 mana now. Okay, just a clue. Sure. +1/+1 in Vigilance. That's okay. We can outrace that as long as you don't have removal for Perimeter Enforcer here. Okay, how do we do this? I don't think Meddling Youths is the way to go. I'd like to attack with this when I also have 6 mana up. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and play a Rebel Belt Braggart here. And then if we draw a land at any point, we can hold up both of these. Now, unfortunately, we are tapped out of Felonious Rage. So we'll see if that comes back to bite us, but... I mean, Perimeter Enforcer has kind of done its job at this point. It has gained us 12 life over the course of this game. Let's see if they have an answer. Sumala Sentry, that does have reach. So that is kind of an answer. And if they can flip this... Ooh, that's going to be good. So now, this is probably going to be pretty big here. They will solve it at their end step, and then they get counters whenever they attack here. Okay, so if I attack both, and I suspect this, they're probably going to double block, and then single block. And then I would trade a Braggart for an Eavesdropper, Enforcer for a Sentry, get a 2-2, and play a 3-2. They would be left with a 2-2 and a 2-2. Conversely, I just attack here, trade it off. This isn't going to get any better. I guess I could attack here only. But then Enforcer's never getting in again. So I think I'm okay making that trade. They're going to trade Eavesdropper for Braggart and Enforcer for Sentry using Rage, and I play Night Watch. That's how I see this turn going here. But I think that's okay with me. So I get a 2-2, and then I also get a 3-2 that dies into a 2-2. And I have a Haster coming, and they don't have great blockers yet. Though they do have 6 mana, so they could have like a Topiary Stomper, which is a 6 mana 6/6. They could have a Flourishing Bloomkin, which I guess is a 3/3. There's a 3/3. And then this only does things when they attack. Do they have another play? They do have 2 mana. Let's see. This will also be a 3/3 at the end of the turn. Huh. I think I can use that on something better, so I think I'm just gonna... What happens if I play Meddling Use attack with everything? They eat this, they chump the Meddling Use, take 3 down to 5, and then we're left with this. And then I still have Makeshift Binding next turn. I do get to Investigate, which is pretty good. I basically turn my 2-2 into a card. Though they do have priority still, which means it could be +3/+3 and trample. Which would be horrible for us if we attacked with everything, because at that point they would eat this and then also eat that. That would be so bad if it's the +3/+3 and trample card. So because of that, I'm going to play around that +3/+3 and trample card because of how bad it is for us if that is actually the card. So I'm just going to attack here for that reason, and I will be willing to trade the Night Watch for that card. Let's see if that's what it is. It's not exactly that, but it's pretty close. So I traded the Night Watch for a card in their hand and still got a 2/2 out of it. So now we can Binding their Bloomkin, probably. And then also equip probably a 2/2. Let's see what else they have, though. So when ETBs, discard, then draw 2. If you have no cards in hand, it becomes solved. Really hope they didn't draw 2 cards they can cast. Okay, it looks like that's not the case. Pun intended. Okay, Bloomkin coming in. Obviously not blocking it. They do have something they can do here. It could be flipping this. It could be something in hand. Reminder, they have 2 mana because of the Tunnel Tipster here. Yeah, I don't need a land. What if I makeshift binding their Tunnel Tipster, equip, attack all, investigate? Then they still have a 5/5. But they would trade, they would chump, and they would take 2 to 6. We would be left with these 2. They would be left with just a 5/5 here. What if we makeshift binding the Bloomkin and then equipped a 2/2 and then attacked with 2 things here? This is going to be a larger problem over the course of the game, I think. I think I'm going to play this slower. I don't like it, but I think it's what I'm going to do here. Okay, got the chump. Then I think I do binding their Bloomkin here. What is this? If a face-down creature entered this turn. Okay, flipping a Nervous Gardener. Alright, well, sorry about that. Here we are on the next game. My recording, as some of you longtime viewers have known, my recording likes to shut off at some points, and it is getting sooner and sooner. It used to be about 2.5 hours. It has gotten down to about 40 minutes. It decides to shut off on me. So I'm going to have to figure that out. Hopefully I can get that figured out soon enough here, and you don't have to miss the end of any other games. Unfortunately, we lost the last one. They flipped their case and then ended up drawing 3 cards per turn, and we drew 3 lands. So we lost. So there we go. We're going to keep this one. It's not a great hand, but we do have a Disguised Creature on 3. We can flip that up on 4 if we draw something else. We've got Buzz Crusher on 4. It's not a great hand, but I've kept worse. So we'll see if we can survive with it. Dog Walker, yet another card we could disguise here. Don't know which one would be better. Obviously not doing this one because we don't have white yet, so not exactly sure which one to do here. I'm just gonna play one of them, and honestly, if they attack, probably just gonna block anyway. Unless they're able to pump it here, which I'm sure they will. There it is. 2/1 flying lifelink. Alright, let's see if we can get out of this here. The answer is no. Sure. Guess I just kind of have to hope they aren't able to pump it up to a 5/5 at instant speed. Sure, and then we just trade, I guess. Okay, both things are dead. Found a land. So... I can return Dogwalker as a flyer to block this thing. Or I could just play Buzz Crusher, which also blocks it. And turns on Case of the Gateway Express to kill their Sanguine Savior for just one creature here. If we draw another white, that would be pretty good. Would let us actually like do things with our hand. Let's see if Buzz Crusher does indeed survive, or if they have yet another removal. In black-white, the chances are that they will have the removal here. Due Diligence, a 4/3 with Vigilance, Flying, and Lifelink. Yeah, I think I just gotta trade, unfortunately. It's a good card. 3-mana 2/1 Flying Lifelink with Disguise, so... Alright. Guess we'll just do this. I mean, can't really do more than one thing a turn with only one planes here. The only thing we can return with Surprise Witness is Dogwalker, which isn't bad as a 3/1 Flying Vigilance, it's just... Yeah, Mountain is the not at all what I needed, even remotely. Mountain's probably the worst draw in the entire deck. Agency Corner, a 3/6. That is horribly unfortunate for our Museum Night Watch, but I guess if they can't answer a Dogwalker in the next 5 turns, we'll just win that way. Yeah, not blocking that. Let's see what their follow-up is here now. A 3-mana 2/2. Sure. I can kill that. Now, if they have removal in response here, I might have to sacrifice the Crovad Haunch just to make sure that this kind of happens, but because I can get 2 creatures in response here, they might also just sacrifice it here. Yeah. Okay. Are not going to be able to flip the case because of our unfortunate land situation, but doing the best we can. Sure, take 3. There's another Flying Lifelinker. And there's a Reacher. I assume they're just trading here, but I guess we'll offer it. No? They just take 8? Okay, sure. Alright, I guess pass it back here? Okay, now you have a 3-3. Working for their 3-mana 3-3. Sure they're attacking here. No. Okay, what's the plan? The plan is to have us keep drawing more lands, I guess. I guess we're trading off here then? So probably trading Dogwalker for Savior and then trading Detective for a 3-3, I suppose. Yeah, that sounds right. Okay. Now you go to 4. I will equip this. I mean, I guess here it doesn't really matter. Nothing can get past this corner here, so yeah, that kills a creature. Sure. We are in our 4th game this draft and have yet to see a shock. Hashtag shock in the comments. Perfect timing. Okay, so how do we play this? Do we just keep the shock? So if we... I mean, I might be able to cheese out a win if I, like, sacrifice the Crovad Haunch, get 2 1/1s, and shock them in the face, and I might be able to just win here out of nowhere. So I'm just gonna pass and see if they prove that they have anything else here. Okay, probably gonna get rid of the 2-2. Yep. I guess I had a tax last turn. I could have equipped and then also activated the inside source. That was probably best, but they don't know we have shock in hand. Also, that gains 2 life, which is just the worst. The worst for us, obviously. Of course, we are literally exactly 1 point of damage too little right now. Sure, no blocks. Go to damage. Go to 3. Shock off the top for the win. Now, how about our 10th land? This will flip our Case of the Gateway Express, and then we kill their Whipcracker after it attacks, and then like we have a bunch of lethal threats here. Just gotta hope they don't have some sort of pump spell or something. Okay. They can sacrifice it to the coroner, but I mean, we go to 3, we have a couple of lethal threats. That means you're still dead. That should do it. Yeah, Fuss would have done it even if they didn't have anything else. Alright, cheesed out the win there by holding on to that shock and sacrificing Krovan Haunch. Nice little win. Alright, here we are in the next game. Going first, got Lightning Helix and Makeshift Binding. I mean, double removal spell, it's gotta be good. It's a very slow hand, which hasn't been great for us so far, but now we've got a Frantic Scapegoat, so taste it. Taste the wrath of the goat. Seasoned Consultant. Sure, you still can't block my goat. Nah. My goat is still gonna get in. He has been suspected of a crime, and unfortunately is guilty. Now what about their goat? Do I want to... Obviously they have a combat trick here, but do I want to block? No, I've got removal to blow out their combat trick later. I could just do that. I probably have to shock that stupid goat, unfortunately. Just to make sure that they don't attack with 3 or more creatures next turn. I can't imagine they're blocking our morph or our disguised creature here, but if they do, I think I'm just going to happily turn it up and eat it. Yeah, I didn't think they would. A little bit mana screwed on our flipping here. But I think I'm just going to shock their goat. That way they can't attack with 3 or more creatures. They have to decide whether or not they want to attack with these now. Okay, looks like they will. Go to damage. And what is the follow-up but an inside source? Okay. I think I'll do this. If I draw a land, I can play Braggart. I want to try to prevent them from attacking with 3 or more creatures. Person of Interest is actually a pretty good draw here. Unfortunately, they're going to still be able to attack. Do I want to suspect? No, because it's already suspected. Because it enters the battlefield suspected, so decline. Do I want to suspect my 2/2 as opposed to my 1/1? Probably so. This is a better chump blocker. So let's do this. Now, they can attack with 3. I know they have a combat trick, so... I mean, I'm not blocking... Oh, okay, they're just gonna hold things back here. Interesting. Okay. Well, let's get in here. These can't block. Well, gosh. But now they could just block with these and then eat them. So let me just do this. Sure, they trade there. We'll flip it up. Get our Thopter out of the deal. And then, do we use Makeshift Binding here? These are quite annoying, but for our suspected creatures, but I just don't think it's worth using Makeshift Binding on them. Sure. If they want to use a combat trick here, I'd be okay with that. Okay, take 6. Disguise, pass. Alright, let's just keep the attacking going, I guess. They go to 7. We can play this. Take 6, 7, 8, 9, potentially. See if they have some sort of, like, +2/+1 to all of their creatures kind of thing. I know they have a combat trick here. I just... What is this? 6, 7, 8 damage? 9, 10 damage with a trick? Flipping this, maybe 11 damage? They chose not to attack here, which obviously means... I don't think they have lethal. If they had lethal, they would have just swung in with everything. And I have a surprise removal spell coming next turn that I can remove a blocker, have 3 menace creatures and a flyer. Alright, I'm going to risk it. Hopefully we don't die to some sort of dumb combat trick and flip disguise thing here. Okay, that's 9. Do you have 4 more damage in hand? Okay, there's down to 4. Alright, well technically they can't block any of my creatures right now, so they have to have some sort of removal spell. So... let's just get in and see what they have, I guess. And it basically has to be for the Braggart. If they can't kill the Braggart here... I guess they could have Lightning Helix. Nope, they've got nothing. Alright, we'll take the win. Ooh, that was some strange disguised combat math going on there that I didn't particularly enjoy. Alright, we're up first here with a turn 2 Dogwalker if we want it. I might, if I miss a land drop, I might just do that. Got Shock on 1 as well, in case they play some incredible 1-drop that I need to kill. But I can't imagine that will happen. Yeah, okay. Missed land drop. I think I gotta get my creature down while I can. I have another morph I can play. And even if I don't want to play a morph, I've got an inside source here, so let's see if Dogwalker can get in. Red Herring attacks each combat if able. No, I don't think I want to trade. But can I interest you in a missed land drop? I'll get rid of that so they can't sacrifice it, and then just miss some land drops here and see if we can come back. Another Red Herring, sure. Alright, here we go. Now what do we do? Play an inside source, trade it with the 2/2. Shock it, but then I can't do anything else. So probably not that. I guess we'll just play an inside source, attack for 3, and then trade Red Herring for a 2/2, leave ourselves with the 1/1 back. Could also just take the 2. Okay, coming in with Red Herring for 2. I don't have anything that's going to eat this. So... I think I'm alright just trading. Let's see if they've got a combat trick. No? Okay, I think I'll just trade. And what's the next play here? Karlov Watchdog. That is a perfect shock target. Then I'll play Seasoned Consultant, and now I do have 3 creatures that could attack next turn depending on what they play, if a 1/1 is going to be interested in attacking or not. The answer is no, because they play a Flying Vigilance Haste creature, because of course they do. So they eat the Dog Walker, they take 4 here, go to 6? Is that... Oh, and they draw a card? Oh, perfect, Aurelia. Whenever a player attacks with 3 or more creatures, that includes me. This is going great. So we're going to lose to a couple of incredible bombs over the course of this draft. Welcome to Limited. Market Watch Phantom can get flying. Makeshift Binding kills one of our creatures. Goodbye, Dogwalker. Well, that is a heck of a draw. Wow. Not sure I could have top-decked anything better than that. Whoa. Alright, guess we do this then. I'm not sure we had a single better top deck in our entire deck. Magic. The ups and the downs, or the downs and the ups of these games. Just crazy. Go to 7, give me my mini Anthem here. And let's see what they top deck. A Disguise creature. And a 2-mana 2/1. Those are both fine with me. They'll probably double trade, take 4, go to 3. I play Braggart, and then I have a menacing 5/5 here. That would make the most sense. I guess they could chump. Go to 4. Then they're not technically dead on board. Okay, they will chump. And I'll just play a 5/5. Or I guess a 6/5. With Menace. And in we get. Sure, take action. Go to -9. Man, Case of the Gateway Express got us out of a bind there with Aurelia on the other side of the battlefield. Alright, we're up first with Inside Source on 3 and a good creature to return with Surprise Witness with double shock backup here. So we're going to go ahead and keep this one. And go ahead and see if we can shock down a 2-drop. The answer to that question is no, but we'll take Inside Source on 3 with Case of the Gateway Express as backup here now. If they decide to kill one of these, well, they'd have to kill this one in order for me to call a Surprise Witness. So let's see what their solution is going to be to this problem. The answer is a Disguise creature that I suppose I could just Case of the Gateway Express because I can pay for the Ward 2 here. Yeah, I mean, not really a better target for that at the moment. And I don't have any other creatures in my hand to put more pressure down to make this kill bigger things, so... Alright, there's a gadget technician. That's a good shock target. But not a very good mana situation with our hand. So let's kill that, and then I guess we're just gonna pump this thing. Can't do anything else here. Let's see if they want to chump or not. Okay, they will. Preserve some life. They know we're a little bit stuck on mana and stuck on colors here. Fairy Snoop. Okay. How about Frantic Scapegoat? And I could get one more damage in here, but I think I'd rather just flip my case and burn all my mana. If they have a land, they can play Fairy Snoop and undisguise it. So they could disguise and then flip it up too. It becomes a 1/4. Looks like that's probably what they're going for here. Still just having a very inconvenient time with my draws. So I guess let's do this. Hold up shock. They can't profitably block either of these with Fairy Snoop if that's what they chose to disguise. I guess they can trade. Yeah, they could just do that. They don't really want to flip it up. I mean, I guess they could just trade with the 2/2. No, I guess they just really want to dig for an answer here. We've got a good hand. It's just we are really not drawing our red source. Sometimes we draw 11 lands, 6 and 5, and sometimes we draw 4 lands, 1 and 3, and then get mana screwed. You just never know. Okay. Yet another board wipe. Sure. And they get to look at our entire hand here. I don't think we have another inside source in the deck. They exile something? Oh, exile shock. Exile a card from the graveyard. Oh, and they get to get shock out of our hand here. But we do get to draw an extra card, which is actually pretty good for us. I'd like to draw more cards and see if I can hit land drops. But instead, the answer to that question will be no. We will not draw any land. Okay, time to rebuild. There's at least 3 board wipes in this set. Probably 4, which is just too many for a limited set. It's never fun playing with, gosh, can I draw 16 cards in 4 lands? Can we do anything here? The orangutan is going to be pretty good here. Gets to kill their gadget technician. Well, why do I want this to be an artifact as well? Gets to kill their Thopter, which is also just fine. Okay, trade and kill bystander probably. Kill inside source because it's a flyer. There you go. Okay, take 3, go to 8. Case of the Gateway Express doing some work pumping our creatures, but... Oh, are they flooding that hard? I don't know, maybe. Let's see what happens if I do this. Counterspell? Yep. Okay, they're still dead to Lightning Helix now, though. Okay. The case of Flood versus Screw. I guess Screw won in this case. Okay, how about this incredibly awkward hand? We do have a 2-drop we can cast. A mountain makes the hand quite good. We need 2 mountains to cast Buzz Crusher. Gosh, I hate mulliganing so much, but I guess we'll do that here. And then, yeah, just keep a hand that basically does nothing for the first 3 turns of the game. So, obviously going to disguise Night Watch and then see what to do from there. Well, now we've got Inside Source, which is better with Case of the Gateway Express, so maybe we just play Inside Source next turn? Which gives us the out to hitting a creature off of this. There's an Inside Source for them. I don't think I'm gonna trade because I do have Felonious Rage and Case of the Gateway Express here, which makes me not want to trade my creatures off. Okay, see? That's why I needed to keep this here. So if I go Scapegoat, Gateway, holding up Felonious Rage here. What if I also went Disguise? No, I need to cast Gateway. I don't need to, but I think it's going to be good to do that. Because then I can attack with 3 creatures as well. I can even just flip the Gateway right now. Sure, yeah. I mean, I could have just used Felonious Rage to get a 2/2 there, which... I mean, a 1-mana 2/2, that's pretty good. I just think I might need to keep this to attack into some bigger creatures. They are playing green, which could mean that their creatures are a little bit bigger. So let's see what they've got here. Okay, untap it. See, this is why I needed to keep up Felonious Rage here. For basically this exact reason. Now, I hope they don't have yet another interactive spell. That would not be good for me. Alright, looks like they do. 2 combat tricks. Can't really beat 2 combat tricks, so that's a bit unfortunate for me. Yeah, sure, I'll suspect that one. And then... give me another menace creature, I suppose? Got a 4/4. Okay. They have another Airtight Alibi or something? Or just a creature that can block everything? Okay, that's a 2/2. Alright. Yeah, I guess I'm getting in there. Now, the reason I'm going to do this way is simply because, well, first of all, it's going to have Ward 2 now, and they also don't know what creature this is. I can flip it up on their end step. It costs me more mana to do it this way, but they don't know what I have here. So they have to play their entire turn knowing that this could be a dog walker. I could get more creatures. This could be anything. So that's why I'm playing it the way I am, instead of just casting it as a 4-mana 3-2. So it's going to end up being a 4-3, or a 4-2, I guess, which can attack right into this. Both of these can attack currently. And Meddling Youths is pretty darn good. So we will attack with everything, investigate, and math is for blockers. Finish it out there with our aggro deck. What are we now? 6-2, I think? Alright, last game. Win or lose. Let's get it. Alright, last game. 6-2. We go first with yet another horrible hand here. White makes it outstanding. Any land makes us cast a Dog Walker on 3, can still flip it, and have Felonious Rage. I'm going to keep it. If we draw white, we basically win. But there's no guarantee of that happening at all. Okay, so now at least we can cast a Disguised Walker on turn 3. There's a white. What does this even do? 2 mana 2/3, collect evidence 2, can't do anything yet. So I can makeshift binding that. I'd like to get a creature down. So let's do this. Next turn what we can do is we can flip this up for 2 red and also cast Perimeter Enforcer. We could also Felonious Rage this. There's a lot of things we could do here. Okay, that's fine. So let's... yeah, let's attack. Doesn't get Vigilance. Are the dogs tapped? Yeah. Okay. I think I'm going to do this to get 1 more point of damage in here and also just play the Perimeter Enforcer. I think this is going to be good to get down early. They showed to me they don't want to block with their morph here, or with their disguised creature. So I can always makeshift binding this thing if it gets out of hand here. Definitely going to if it becomes particularly the 5/5, but even the 4/4 probably still doing it. Which one is this? Okay, so it's just a colorless land now. Okay, down go our 2 creatures. Krovod Haunch, you say? What if we played Person of Interest and Krovod Haunch here? Makeshift binding this next turn if they decide to put some mana into it? What is this, a clue? Yeah. Yeah, I think I'll do this. I think I'll just attack here. I go to 15. We're at 14. I could block their morph, but if they play a land, 5 is the magic number to attack into a 2/2 with the morph. For those of you that don't know that secret, it's not really a secret, they did announce it, is that you can't attack into, or you can't flip a morph and beat a 2/2 in combat for less than 5 mana. So, ooh, that's a good one. How do I want to do this now? Clearly cast this, but do I kill that or do I kill that? I think I'll kill the Surveillance Monitor. And then attack with, I think, everything. And then depending how they block, I can Felonious Rage something here. So, I think I'm actually going to Rage the dog. And then I can makeshift binding this hero at some point. So let's do this. Kill their morphed creature. And then see if they're going to collect evidence and such. And the makeshift binding can burn them off of that. They've got 2 planes. This costs 5 mana to turn into a 5/5. There's their 5th mana. Okay, Projector Inspector, so they loot, and then also whenever another detective shows up, they get to loot again. As many times as they want. I still don't know if I want to makeshift binding right now, though. I don't really have a reason to. I can trade Person of Interest for their Projector Inspector and attack with the Perimeter Enforcer here. I can equip the Haunch and play this. They're probably just cracking a clue. I can makeshift binding, equip the Haunch, attack with everything. That's pretty good. I know I'm probably getting rid of this 10th District hero at some point here. So let's just get rid of that now. Equip here, and then get in with everything. I think they're just holding up a clue activation. I expect them to trade with the 2/2 and take 6. That is what I believe is the most likely scenario here. Okay, decided to soak up the damage here and kill our 2/2. Or exile it, I guess. So that's fine. Go to 8. And got a little bit of card draw coming if we want it. The Haunch is going to be pretty good with the Perimeter Enforcer. Okay. Yeah, let's just start here. If they don't have an answer to the Perimeter Enforcer, that's going to be a pretty big problem for them. So, let's just attack. Plan to trade their 2/2 for our 2/2, if that's what they're going to do. Oh no. That's about the worst one that they could have had for us. Yeah, that is a game turner there. Do not like that. Okay, this will be tough now. Okay, a lot of sanitation automatons here today. Inside source, got a lot of creatures coming. Yeah. see what we can find off of our case here. Gateway Express or Inside Source? Gateway Express isn't, like, super great right now. It's okay. I think Inside Source might be better. Let's take the Inside Source. Play a Plains. Move this. Here, I guess. And then attack with both. I'm sure they'll block with their 2-2 and their 2-1. Just makes most sense. Flip that up, make a Thopter, trade for both, pass it back. Fairy Snoop is a big old butt that is not working in our favor right now. Okay, Jaded Analyst, 3-2 with Defender. Alright, 1, 2, 3. We can still cast this and equip this. So I know they're going to trade with the Jaded Analyst, but I guess we'll just force their hand on that. And then we get to play Innocent Bystander and equip it. And then now this can attack into the Fairy Snoop here, so that's pretty good. Except they have a 1-1 that can also block it. We are just struggling to get through the last little bit here. Sure. That means they have another good creature to block the Bystander here. I think they might have another Inside Source, is what this tells me. Or a way to deal with this Innocent Bystander in a different way. Yeah, that's a fine enough way to block it. There's an answer. That, my friends, is an answer here. So we also get to investigate off this Bystander, so let's trade for the Courier. Or the Snoop. I guess that's also okay. Sure. Okay, got rid of the Snoop. Play the Buzz Crusher. And do we get rid of Shadowy Backstreet here? This one doesn't matter anymore. They could just get a black and still... They might have double white in their hand, though. Thins their deck a little bit, but I think that's probably okay. Okay, they got that. Got another Plains. And then we'll equip this here, and now this is lethal. And there's lethal. All right, I think this makes 3 or 4 formats in a row where we have started the format with a trophy. Gotta love it. Well, I don't think the deck was like super great or anything, but I think we just kind of outplayed our opponents in a couple of moments, which is totally fine. It's early in the format. It's understandable for that to happen, but had a good time here already, 7-2. Hope you guys are enjoying your Murders at Karlov Manor drafts on your end as well. Got another draft tomorrow. Some AI deck build Historic Brawl on Saturday. We're going to have a traditional Karlov Manor draft on Sunday, and then 5 drafts next week, and on we go. Thanks for tuning in today, and I'll see you next time for your daily draft.